Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. There's always something big going on in the wrestling world, and we're always ready to give you the scoop. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including an update on Rusev's contract, the return of the red light, more news on the Dibiase money scandal and Bret's link to his father's ministry, the man wants to be paid like a man, a women's champion's involvement in a hit and run, a big match announced for SmackDown, and more. Ted Dibiase involved in financial scandal? There was an interesting story going around concerning WWE Hall of Famer Ted Dibiase and his religious ministry, with questions about funds that were sent to said ministry via a state organization Ted's son Bret had been working for. As Wrestlelamia noted in an earlier video, Dibiase's son Bret was indicted for what was described as one of the, quote, biggest embezzlement schemes in state history. Ted Dibiase has operated a religious ministry for over 20 years. According to a story in the Clarion Ledger, the state of Mississippi gave $2.1 million to Million Dollar Man Ted Dibiase Sr.'s religious nonprofit organization, Heart of David Ministries, according to state records. According to the story, Dibiase Sr.'s nonprofit had meager funds until his son Bret Dibiase was hired at the Mississippi Department of Human Services as the deputy administrator. Bret was hired in early 2017. Although Ted Dibiase hasn't been charged with anything, there appear to be some red flags surrounding the ministry. For example, a report at WrestlingNews.co states that the ministry has not filed income taxes in the past 2 years. Furthermore, the ministry made small amounts per year until 2017. In 2003, for example, they pulled in just $5,000 in grants, and that grew to more than $80,000 in 2016. In 2017, they pulled in $217,000 in welfare money. Bret Dibiase also earned $95,000 for the 7 months he worked for the Mississippi Department of Human Services. It appears Ted Dibiase's ministry was not bringing in much funding until 2017. At that point, Heart of David Ministries received $271,000 in 2017, and they reported $60,000 spent on web design and maintenance, $30,000 for travel, and $13,000 on advertising, with wrestling events included on the expenses. Ted Dibiase Sr. was paid more than $80,000 as the president of the organization. It's arguable that the expenses are excessive, as they're roughly 2/3 of the overall budget. According to the group Charity Watch, which grades charities, Charity Watch recommends that in most cases, 60% or more of your charitable donation should go to program services. In our view, 60% or greater is reasonable for most charities. The remaining percentage, ideally less than 40%, is spent on fundraising and general administration. Wrestlelamia is curious what our viewers think about this spending amount and the recommended guidelines. Be sure to leave your comments below. If you're curious what the organization claims to do, its webpage mission statement reads, Heart of David Ministry of Evangelism and Encouragement, with a goal of challenging men and women to strive to be dedicated followers of Christ. For challenging men to attain a position of respect and integrity through righteous living, godly parenting, and priestly husbandhood. According to WrestlingNews.co's Paul Davis, there was some confusion over the grant the ministry received and a project Ted Dibiase was working on. Following the first infusion of money in 2017, work began on Dibiase Sr.'s Price of Fame documentary that got a limited theater release and digital release on Amazon Prime. According to the trailer, the film was made in association with Heart of David Ministries, but the manager behind the film said the nonprofit was not involved. Perhaps the most troubling situation is that the ministry received its grant from the state after Ted's son Bret was hired at the Mississippi Department of Human Services as the deputy director. The 2017 grant was said to be used for general church speaking engagements, religious conferences, school assemblies, and wrestling events. Again, Ted Dibiase has not been charged with anything, but there are likely to be many questions about his son Bret's connection to the government agency that granted funds to Papa Ted's ministry. The man wants to be paid like a man. It looks like Becky Lynch is looking for equal pay to the WWE's male superstars. The current Raw Women's Champion spoke with TV insider Scott Fishman about a number of subjects, including her status as the greatest of all time and her pay rate. "I should be making more in that whole company, everybody, Vince McMahon included. I want to change the game. I want to prove that it doesn't matter your gender, your race, your background. If you're doing the job and keeping people invested, then you deserve to be paid at a higher level than anybody else." Lynch seemed to step back on her demand to be paid the highest, telling Fishman, "Or as high as anybody else. As high as the best of them. I look around the arenas and the majority of the people are in my shirts. The majority of people hold signs for me, so pay me as such, and that'll be the way it'll be." While Lynch has been a popular women's wrestler for the past year, she may have hit her peak after defeating Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35 to become Becky Two Belts. Considering the following ratings from the 10 February Raw. The Becky Lynch interview and beginning of Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens and Viking Raiders versus AOP and Seth Rollins and Murphy lost 106,000 viewers and were the low point of the show at 2,071,000 viewers. The WWE has been relentless in pushing Becky as the female face of the company, but as described in past videos, there appears to be some fan backlash against Lynch. Wrestling has traditionally been about paying the most to the top draw, or someone who is expected to be a draw, for example the multi-million-dollar payday Tyson Fury is believed to have received for working 2019's Crown Jewel against Braun Strowman. Is Lynch truly that much of a draw? The man seems to think so, claiming, "No matter who my opponent is or what my story is, I've been on top longer than maybe anybody else in the last decade, maybe beyond that." This week's Wrestling Observer newsletter outlined the WWE's traditional pay policy, as well as what it's believed that Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair are making. Historically, when it comes to pro wrestling, the biggest star has always taken the highest salary, and for that matter, when it comes to straight salary, the top talent was always paid more than Vince, who made his money over the past 2 decades far more on paying himself stock dividends than his salary. Lynch and Flair are believed to be the 2 highest paid women in the company, with the belief each signed a $1 million guarantee. The WWE's male competitors in the top tier make more than Lynch, but is Becky as much of a draw as, say, Roman Reigns or The Fiend? If she is, the WWE needs to pay her equal pay to reflect her value to the company. However, in an industry where pay is traditionally fixed by the ability to draw, Lynch can't argue she deserves the same pay as a men's world champion such as The Fiend or Brock Lesnar, unless she is just as big at bringing in the fans. Rusev's current contract status. Fans have been trying to solve the mystery of whether Rusev is going to stay with WWE for over a year, with the Bulgarian Brute repeatedly hinting at leaving the WWE. However, after Rusev's wife Lana signed a new deal with the WWE, there seemed to be little question that the Bulgarian Brute would re-up with the promotion, especially after his big storyline against Lana and her storyline lover Bobby Lashley. Rusev has been absent from WWE TV with rumors of him being pulled due to a contract dispute. However, Rusev is scheduled for Super Showdown, which means he is working without a contract while still negotiating it, or, as this week's edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter suggests, Rusev being announced for the show is not a sign that his contract issues are settled, but he still has plenty of time left on his current deal. Do you think Rusev should stay in WWE? Be sure to leave your comments below. The Red Light returns. It looks like the WWE is bringing back the red light that creates a creepy mood for the Fiend's matches. If you saw this year's Royal Rumble, you'll remember the Daniel Bryan vs. The Fiend strap match didn't feature the usual red light ambiance, likely because it would have made it difficult to work the match due to both superstars being strapped together. Fan opinion is mixed about the red light, with some saying it's a good way to distinguish the Fiend's matches from others, while some fans claim that it's annoying and even gives some people eye strain. Wrestlers including Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt himself have complained about it, as has announcer Corey Graves, but count on seeing it the next time The Fiend wrestles. Rumor: what's in the cage? There's an interesting rumor circulating about what is in the cage Rowan carries to the ring. The WWE has been dragging on the storyline of the mystery of what's in the cage for so long that some fans simply don't care. While Wrestlelamia doesn't know when the WWE will reveal the cage's contents, Pro Sports Extra's Brad Shepard tweeted, "According to a source in WWE, the current creative idea is for Eric Rowan's cage to contain a spider. Yes, a spider, lol. Apparently, there's no real rhyme or reason behind that idea, so I'm told that could change before the reveal. Only time will tell what's in the cage as WWE changes its ideas on a whim. It could be anything ranging from a gerbil to a Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy. Women's champion injured in hit-and-run accident. Current NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa was the victim of a hit-and-run accident. Rosa tweeted, "Hey guys, yesterday I was involved in a hit-and-run accident, and to raise money to fix my car, I'm selling different gears. DM me or email me at thunderrosa22@gmail.com. Thanks for your support." It's unclear whether Rosa was injured in the accident, but she is selling ring gear to repair for the damage to her car. Wrestlelamia wishes a full recovery to Thunder Rosa if she was injured. Tag match announced for SmackDown. WWE recently announced that The Miz and John Morrison will take on Roman Reigns and a partner of the Big Dog's choosing. The Miz and Morrison have been mocking Roman on Twitter this week, which led to the match. A win over Reigns and his partner could help get the WWE's A-lister and the mayor of Slamtown over even more as they prepare for their Super Showdown title match against The New Day. WWE interviewer leaving. Current NXT backstage interviewer Kathy Kelly took to Instagram to announce that NXT TakeOver Portland will be her last event in WWE. Kelly told her fans, "I've typed out and deleted this about 20 times over the past few days, still unsure of what to write. I've come to the decision to leave WWE, with Sunday's NXT TakeOver being my last day. If you know me, you know this was more than a job. You know how much I loved it and how difficult this decision was. But sometimes, in order to have room for growth, you have to step away. I'm so thankful for getting to live out a crazy dream the past 4 years." Kelly went on to thank Stephanie McMahon and Triple H for their help and support. No word on where Kelly will work next. Well guys, there you have it, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. What did you think about these news stories? Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.